Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
We're back. I would like to apologize to everybody for the rest of the pod this morning and would like to tell you that right now we are going to do the remainder of that episode, which was Champ Week 2 preview. I saw Michael DeRosa in the chat, so I actually just sent him the link and told him join if you can because would love to have somebody else on here with me for this. While I talk about the rest of the championship week games, we've got a lot of stuff to go around this week for Champ Week. Obviously, the high major conference tournaments are the big deal. The MAC tournament may have a bid stealer. The Mountain West tournament may have a bid stealer. So the bid stealers are absolutely out there. We'll have to see if South Florida will be able to make it out of the American. They will not have a bid stolen, but as they are not an at-large caliber, but they are kind of right on that cusp of a team that would be a really, really frisky 12 seed in the NCAA tournament, who can take home the Southland, McNeese and Stephen F. Austin. That's a huge storyline. And then, of course, will we have a bid steal in the Atlantic 10? Will VCU be the team that, quote unquote, steals the bid? Because they probably need to win the A10 tournament, or have a couple things break their way in order to make the NCAA tournament. So there's a lot of things to keep an eye on this week. And we're going to start this off in the ACC. I know Jonathan talked about this with Gongba and Caleb Foster being out for Duke. That's really tough. But I want to talk about the rest of this ACC tournament and some of the teams that are closer to the bubble in the ACC tournament. Stanford is playing right now. SMU plays a little later. So we've got a whole bunch of teams that are in that fringe range. Stanford, SMU in the 11 first four out range per the bracket matrix as well. Heading into today, Stanford was first four out. SMU was last four in. NC State was in the last four buys. So they might not have a ton of margin for error in terms of avoiding Dayton if they were to lose tomorrow to either Stanford or Pitt, whoever wins that game. So that's something to keep an eye on for sure. And remember, the ACC tournament shifted the slate around to where the 1 and 4 will be playing the night session, and the 2 and 3 will be playing the day session. They wanted to get Duke and Carolina in prime time. I can't blame them for wanting to do that. But the thing that I would like to get into when it comes to the ACC tournament here is some of those bubble teams and some of the teams that aren't Duke and North Carolina. Starting with Stanford, obviously playing right now, it's not really something to talk about. They need to win multiple games at least, have some things break their way, not have bid steals. But they do have a draw where if they can get past Pitt, they'll get NC State tomorrow. It's not like they because there are 7 teams in the ACC that are going to make the NCAA tournament for sure at this point, is what I would say. And if you were in the 8-9 game, it's probably better to be in that 10 game because you can get that matchup with the 7 seed, which is a winnable game against a tournament team. Florida State and Cal. Florida State's obviously not going to make it. Cal kind of right on that bubble on the next 4 outside. Obviously, though, Stanford losing right now, I believe, to Pittsburgh. I did not have that game on. I was doing a bunch of work. But that would be an elimination game. They would not make the NCAA tournament if they lose this game. And there's 6 minutes left. Wow. So, yeah. Stanford will not make the NCAA tournament if they don't at least win this game and win tomorrow, is what I would start with. SMU has to play against Syracuse today. That's the Syracuse team that's basically quit. Now, they did not, like, they've lost their last 5 games. Hey, the last one wasn't a double-digit loss, but it was a loss at home to this brutal Pitt team that is actually again won 3 of its last 5, which isn't terrible for them. But so that would be a really bad loss for SMU. If they're to take a loss to Syracuse, it would probably knock them from feeling good about being in to really, really frisky, probably out on Selection Sunday, especially because we have so much potential for bid stealers between the A10, the Mountain West, and the Mid-American Conference. So SMU win today. I'm not sure it like 100% locks them in. Win today and tomorrow, they're 100% in. DeRosa, welcome to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers.
Hello, Sam. I'm not gonna lie, I had just gotten done with everything I needed to. I was gonna chill. I opened my phone, I see Sam on a stream and was like, well, I'm gonna make a joke, and now I'm here. So good to be here. Who does SMU play in the second round of the ACC, assuming they'd win today?
It would be Louisville.
Okay, yeah. I think that one would seal them in. I mean, obviously bid sealers pending, right? You mentioned the 3 conferences.
No, but I think that if they win these 2 games, they're probably on the right side of the bubble by just a tad right now. The Louisville win would be, I mean, it's not a huge needle mover, but it's enough of a needle.
I mean, it's another Q1 win, and the rest of the bubble teams.
Q1 win, and getting a Q1 win at this point in the year is huge.
Yeah, and rest of the bubble teams, sans Ohio State and Santa Clara last night now, have been really bad down the stretch.
Yeah, and what I will say, though, is the other thing to keep an eye on right now with SMU, I'm trying to think about some of their losses.
Well, BJ Edwards should be coming back today from everything I gather.
They need him back, obviously. SMU does have 4 quad 1 wins already, so if they can get a 5th tomorrow, and it would also be a 5th quad 2 win today against Syracuse. Yes, somehow Syracuse is still in the top 100 of the net. They're actually 83rd, which is higher than I would have anticipated. But Syracuse is not a free quad 1 game for anybody in the ACC when they played at the Dome at this point anymore, because there was a point in time where they were, and it was really funny. But that's the bracket. That's kind of where we're looking at for that in the ACC tournament. Cal, I said this earlier. I don't like the draw for Cal in the ACC tournament. Yes, Duke is shorthanded, but you still have to beat Florida State to get there. And Florida State's playing some really good basketball right now. And your metrics are already really not good if you're Cal. So I don't think Cal is going to make that Hail Mary run. But if Cal does win today and beat that shorthanded Duke team, they're probably going to get in.
If they win today, who they played I mean,
Florida State. Maybe not probably going to get in, but they're probably going to be like right on the cut line.
So, yeah, I would think a
win over Duke would be a huge needle mover. And
win over Duke would do enough, I think. That is.
I don't know, because the metrics are still so bad. They're 71st in KenPom right now.
How many Q1 wins would that be?
It would be a 5th quad 1 win.
And okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that would do a lot. For what it's worth, I do think Florida State is the better team at this point of the year. I think Florida State's playing really well.
Florida State's also, I think, higher than them in some of them in KenPom. Florida State's 65th in KenPom.
Let's look at Torvik in the last month. Florida State has really.
Florida State is 10-3 in their last 13 games.
Yeah, they've completely turned a corner. I've watched them play quite a bit. I shouldn't say impressed, but
this is kind of the Florida State team I expect. Obviously, but I liked Florida State in the preseason, and a lot of people really just didn't.
I did not. Yeah,
and this is it. I thought Martin Somerville would be better than he has been, but Robert McRae just giving them the point guard play, truly elite point guard play, and everything else coming into focus. Lajay Jones coming into focus, Chauncey Wiggins coming into focus, playing his best basketball. Florida State would have to do a lot. They would have to win 4 games in 4 days to steal a bid. But
they're the bid stealer.
They are the bid stealer.
It's either them or if you really want to make it, I could see why people would make it Virginia Tech, but I disagree.
No, because they have to win 5 and 5.
Yeah, and
Short-handed Duke, short-handed North Carolina.
Like, it
Like,
isn't possible, and
it's very hard. It's very hard to imagine Florida State beating Duke and North Carolina, beating Duke or North Carolina at this point. Maybe not or North Carolina. That's what they could. But I think they are the most likely of the bid stealers, obviously.
I think they're the most likely high major bid stealer. Just looking at Torvik in the last month,
the Big East top two are like the odds that neither of them win, and it's not Villanova either, is so low.
Like, I just don't trust any of the Big East teams. I think there's two above. That's the thing for me. But Florida State is 30th in Torvik if you just sort by since February 1st.
Sort since January 20th. That's when they won the first ACC game.
Let's run it. January 20th. Control F. Florida. 32nd.
That's a good basketball team.
Yeah, 35th Missouri. The other one had VCU is 46th, who's playing pretty well right now. TCU 51st, have some pretty big wins. SMU, we were just talking about 55th.
Arrow pointed up for Florida State, and if they and a lot of people were really down on this roster, down on the I thought it was a good roster coming, not a great.
I did not like this roster coming in the year.
And I remember I got a lot of hate for this on the ACC preview when I said that I liked Florida State. Christian Ajakjian was like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm gonna take a victory lap right now. 10-8 in the ACC.
Yeah, and when I searched since February 1st, they were above. It was both Vanderbilt and Nebraska since February 1st. Granted, those teams those are pretty good teams.
I don't really have anything to say about Duke at this point. I want to get into. Don't really have anything about Virginia or Miami at this point either. Let's get into the Big 12.
Okay.
Don't really think any of the teams playing today, aside from Cincinnati or BYU, matter. And Cincinnati's losing right now. Cincinnati probably not going to make it. Has the opportunity to go on a run and pick up big wins, but it's not really big wins that are keeping them out. They have the resume wins. They just have 14 losses, and their metrics are fine. Not they're not in the 30s. They're at 42 at Ken Palm. And I just think that they would need to run a gauntlet to win a couple games here.
Yeah, because I don't think the UCF win unless they dominate these two teams, and you said they're losing today. Unless they dominate these two teams, I don't think the metrics really change much. So and I don't know.
Yeah, you have to go play Arizona.
Yeah, you'd have to beat Arizona
I don't think UCF is a needle mover that moves them above, say, Indiana, or New Mexico.
Yeah, and just looking at it now, it looks like they're back to old UC. They scored 11 points in 12 minutes, and how much is okay? Bayev's played 2 minutes, and of course he's taken and missed a shot.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Cincinnati. BYU's obviously going to get in the NCAA tournament. They're going to be a 7 seed, I think.
The Matrix while you keep talking.
Yeah, I think BYU is going to be a 7 seed.
Yeah, Matrix system is a little low 6 right now. They could very easily be jumped by one of these teams.
If they lose to Kansas State, they're not going to get a 6. No chance.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like their draw, at least in the first 2 games, in terms of K-State, West Virginia, to get to the quarters. But once you get to that point, it's real tough.
Then again, they went to West Virginia at the end of last month, and they got
blasted. Yeah, they got blasted.
Yeah. I don't know. This BYU team, Rob Wright.
He's really bad basketball. I cannot wait to pick against BYU in the NCAA tournament, is what I'll say about them. I don't know who is going to beat them. They could win a first-round game if they get the right matchup. But I can't wait to pick against them in the NCAA tournament.
When the inevitable matchup is BYU, Ohio State, who are you picking?
BYU.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. Yeah, Rob Wright hasn't really performed to the level of which we would have loved him to, especially knowing Saunders would go down. He's been better, but he needs to be better than just better. And without
No,
Baker
don't hold
and
me to
Saunders,
that. Don't
what's up?
hold me to it. Don't hold me to that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously, you can change your mind. Of course, we're going to get more data. Change your mind. And you actually
It's
have
not
more
the
to
data that we'd get that would change our mind. It's more just like me looking
thinking.
more in depth at the matchup.
Yeah, but just looking at the BYU roster, they lose Baker and Saunders, so that's kind of like their spacer shooters, right? And Saunders was more than that, obviously, but in broad terms. And Kennard Davis hasn't really lived up to that. Boscovich is meh. They don't have good bigs at all, which doesn't really help either. So yeah, I don't know where BYU really replaces Saunders. I think they were just a team that had a big three, and then the depth pieces were Davis and Baker, and Baker's out for the season, and Davis has not lived up to expectations. So, yeah, they're really just a two-man show, and Rob Wright hasn't been great, so it's just how well can AJ play? AJ can win them multiple games in the NCAA tournament and in this tournament too, but
I thought about a month ago that West Virginia had a real shot to make the NCAA tournament. From then they lost to Utah, TCU, and Oklahoma State back to back, and they played themselves out of it. So they still ended up getting the 7th seed.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a terrible I like Ross Hodge, right? We both know he's a very good coach, specifically.
They'll be fine long term.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean they crumbled down the stretch.
Yeah, who do you think is going to win the Big 12 tournament?
Who do I think is going to win it is Arizona, but in the contest I'm in, just looking for I needed a long shot because I'm not performing very well, and I stand by this. I picked Kansas. Look, I think they're a team that can just get hot, and we saw them beat Arizona already. I don't think their draw is all that bad. Look, I like that TCU team quite a bit, but I think they can beat TCU. Houston's a team I do think is overrated at this point. They avoided Iowa State, Texas Tech, who were the two teams I would have been most concerned by for them. I mean, obviously Houston can beat them, of course, but I went with Kansas just from I think they can play Arizona physically. Darren Peterson's just a good enough scorer where he can just have a game where he just goes crazy. Council's been really solid for them all season long. Badunga can dominate the paint in some of these tougher matchups where they're not going to get killed on the glass by Houston or TCU. And Arizona is going to beat them on the glass, but probably not kill them. And Badunga can alter shots that they take on the interior where Kansas is Darren Peterson. The other team doesn't. So for
Texas Tech in the Jerome, because every time I want to make a basketball logical choice about that team, I get it wrong. So why not let it fly for the 7 points?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I went with Kansas just because I'll take the shot there. But obviously, I think Arizona's most likely. But I do tend to think as we get to this time, and then we talk about the NCAA tournament, I think Arizona's fairly vulnerable just because.
Let's talk about the single most absurd conference tournament in the history of conference tournaments, the Big Ten tournament in 2026, because it is 18 teams.
See, I thought you were going to talk about the Horizon League and how they had a play-in, then the first round, then another play-in, and then the second round.
No, I'm talking about the Big Ten tournament because it has 18 teams. I don't care about any of the games today. Penn State, Northwest, I mean, those games probably are starting soon. I genuinely have no idea what's going on in them, and I don't care. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is when the fun starts because you got Indiana playing, and that's the really, really fun one in terms of this. I don't think that the rest of the teams playing tomorrow are bubble at this point. I don't know if I would say USC has played themselves into a position.
No, they're bubble popped.
Yeah, I think USC is definitely out at this point unless they win the conference tournament. So they'd have to go win 5 games in 5 days to do it. Their draw is not great because I think there's no such thing as a good draw when you have to win 5 games in 5 days, and they don't. And their matchup in their second day would not be Purdue or Ohio State, which are kind of the two teams out of that 5 to 8 level that I think are the most vulnerable. And of course, they're the 7 and 8. And then they would have to obviously play Illinois if they make it that far, and then Michigan. And so they'd have to run the gauntlet. And I don't think they're good enough to do that. So that's what I'll say. Indiana, though, I actually like Indiana's draw. I think they have the second most vulnerable team on the 5 to 8 line with Purdue. The most vulnerable team on the 1 to 4 line in Nebraska. And then wouldn't have to play Michigan until the finals. Now, how many wins gets Indiana in the tournament? 2, maybe, probably. 3, definitely.
I think there's a world in which they win 1 and they still stay in. You would have to have no bid stealers,
No,
and then you have to.
It would be no bid stealers, and you'd have to get the right draws in other conference tournaments. I think 2, if you beat Purdue, you're definitely in.
I think so too. I mean, it's the thing at this point. Like that game would be. What day would that game be? That's tomorrow. I mean, that's Thursday. Is that around the time when the committee still pays attention to conference tournaments, or if they stopped by then?
Great question. It's a great question.
I would tend to agree. I think if they beat Purdue, I think they should be in, especially if SMU loses to Syracuse, or if VCU loses a bad game in the A10 tournament, or I think Texas is kind of fine, actually. Just looking at other bubble teams. If Stanford loses today, that definitely helps. So on and so forth.
That game, by the way, has 30 seconds left. Pitt is up by 2. So I'm watching that right now.
Okay. Yeah, I do not have that up. So keep me updated on what happens there. But yeah, I tend to think this draw for Indiana is solid, but I also don't really like this Indiana team. And like Purdue has really looked good in one game in the past month. And that was them blitzing Indiana in ball screens. Like Indiana had no answer for Smith just finding open guys. He had 8 assists to 1 turnover. TKR, they could not even remotely contain.
Corey all the way and 1.
That kid is a stud for a freshman. Oh my God, he rules. But yeah, just in terms of Indiana, like I don't know. I don't like this team. Just flat out. I don't trust them. Like if it was Washington, I honestly think I would consider picking Washington over Purdue if I was making like a bracket, just because I don't know. I want to pick Washington. Why not? If it's Minnesota, that's a team that like they'll execute you to death. I don't trust this Indiana team. I mean, obviously they can beat Purdue. Purdue is not a team I'm high on at all. But like, if I am a bubble team, I think the exact path I would have wanted to like secure my spot in the tournament would have been Purdue, then Nebraska.
Okay. Who do you have winning the Big Ten tournament?
I just went with chalk. I went with Michigan.
I picked Michigan State in the Jerome.
Okay. Why?
7 points possible. I think they're probably the best. I think they're probably going to make the final too. I think they're clearly the best team at the bottom half of that bracket.
I'd agree.
A little concerned about the UCLA matchup. UCLA has been playing really well recently, but I remembered that this game was in the Central Time Zone.
So well, maybe they'll be used to it by now.
Who knows?
You never know with Mick Cronin. He's always finding something to complain about. Yeah, I mean, I see it. I just think Michigan's so dominant. And in a Michigan State matchup, I mean, even the games have been like fairly competitive, but
yeah, I don't think they're going to beat them 3 times.
See,
I actually kind of do think they're going to beat them 3 times. I just wanted the potential for more points, and sure. I think everyone's going to pick Michigan.
Yeah, everyone. I picked Michigan. I would expect Michigan to have over like 50-60% people taking them.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Like, you can't find the. What's going on with the Jerome? That I can't find. That they haven't tabulated the leaderboard for the first part yet.
I don't know, especially because they just had you fill in the Southern Conference bracket this week, which like, well, as I was doing it, it's like I'm watching the finale, like I'm watching the final, and it's like, well, I would have picked Western Carolina, so I put that on there, but like it's been weird this year. But on the another challenge I'm in, the challenge Stuckey runs, it was 40% Michigan, 25% Illinois, 19% Purdue. It granted very different point structure, but like broad strokes.
Yeah. I just need to pick something quick here. I just realized I hadn't done the tiebreakers for this week of the Jerome.
Jesus, this Utah-Cincinnati game is 18-17 with 3 minutes left in the first half.
How many blocks will be reported across the
Utah is 5 of 25. Cincinnati is 6 of 22. Goodness. Cincinnati is 1 of 6 from the free one. Jesus,
all right. I'm actually gonna change my pick away from Utah Valley in the WAC on the Jerome.
Good call.
Probably a good call. Let's move on and talk SEC tournament.
Okay.
Again, just like a tournament that I do not have a ton of interest in watching.
Same.
Also doesn't really feel like as bubbly as others. Like I think Texas is going to get in for sure. Like Auburn's probably the bubble team here. Like, is there
I'd say
another
if Texas
bubble?
loses to Ole Miss, I think they're sweating.
Yeah, but like I'm not watching Texas Mississippi on Wednesday night. I'm not.
Unless it's close.
Yeah, I mean maybe there's some entertaining games in the quarters and semis. This is going to be the Florida Invitational.
Yeah, I think Missouri, if they get like whooped, like they could be sweating on Selection Sunday as well. They'd have to get whooped.
And there'd probably have to be some bid stealers.
Yeah.
I would find it hard to imagine they don't get in at this point.
I'd agree, but like I could see a path. As someone who had again, not betting
0.7, Stanford inbounding. They got to get it in. They doink. 0.6. I think they're going to inbound again. The hell? All right, now, first of all, how did Pitt take the lead?
I'm looking at the play-by-play. Says DeMarco Minor tipping.
All right, let's see what happened here. All right, let's watch this play. Pitt inbounding from the right side, gets it in, dribbling at the logo, 20 seconds, ball screen, beats him, 3, long rebound, tipped right. Oh my God, ball on the floor.
Situation.
This is absurd. And eventually there was a tip in at the end of the play, but that took.
Yeah, DeMarco Minor got his own rebound. Oh my gosh, you do all that to not box out the shooter? Yeah, Benny Gieler was just trying to like really not foul, and he just gives him the open lane. Wow.
Yeah. SEC tournament. I just think it's the Florida Invitational. I don't really have a ton to say about this one. Any interesting draw? I honestly, can I say I kind of think Auburn has like a decent draw. Like, I kind of think everyone has a decent draw except for Missouri and Kentucky, because I don't really think anyone in this conference besides Florida is any good.
Yeah, I think I like the draw for Arkansas. If I wanted to take like they're the 3, I think they can beat Alabama at this point.
I think Texas A&M is clearly worse than Tennessee in terms of the 5-6.
Yeah, and I mean, if Tennessee doesn't have Nate Ament, they're also really limited.
And that's why I said good draw for Auburn.
And then Vanderbilt at this point, they peaked in December.
January,
December. So I don't know. Like I'm gonna have to think about it just because like I am behind in like I am 1-8 on conference tournaments of teams that I have finished. I have 3 tonight of like teams that could win, right? But yeah, I think I have all of them tonight. Actually, all 4. But yeah, I'm going to have to think about it. Do I just go chalk with Florida because I think they are by far the best team in this league, or do I go with Arkansas and just hope Darius Acuff just starts hitting?
I mean, he could. I just think Florida. This is the Florida Invitational.
I think they're the best.
They are. The way that Florida played in the SEC this year, especially like over the last month, they literally looked like what like Vermont does to what Vermont used to do to the America East. Like they were eviscerating everybody.
It was beat down.
It looked watching Florida play, it looked like Gonzaga playing in the WCC down the stretch run of the season.
Yeah, it was Gonzaga, and
they're just more athletic, more physical, play more defense, better offense. Like
Yeah, just complete talent mismatch is kind of what it
I
felt
would
like.
be
And
shocked
even,
if Florida. Okay. I would not be shocked if Florida doesn't win. I would be surprised if Florida doesn't at least make the final. That like the Alabama and Arkansas are the only two teams I think are beating them.
yeah, I would agree. Like, I don't, this current version of Tennessee Vanderbilt, I mean, Auburn beat him this year, so like, I guess, but no.
All right, Big East. There's no one on the bubble. Like Seton Hall is not going to make it if they don't win, unless they. Yeah, I don't think Seton Hall has a chance if they don't
They
win it.
don't have a chance. No, they're dead.
So now there's only 3 tournament teams, unless we get a bid steal, which I don't think is likely one whatsoever.
Mhm.
How do we think the bracket breaks? Is there a chance that it's not a UConn St. John's final?
I mean, is there a chance? Sure. I don't think it's likely. I think it would involve Marquette beating UConn because I don't think
Yes.
Villanova can. I don't think, like, I mean, Marquette, we just saw
I
Marquette
think
do it.
we already saw Villanova's chance to beat UConn.
Yeah, and especially Villanova now without Hodge, and Villanova typically doesn't play well, like at least in the last little while, has not played well when they're playing up to competition, like at all. Terrace Reed is going to dominate Duke Brennan, and Silas can take a Caton out of the game, and that
Villanova hasn't beaten a team. Actually, they have beaten a team with a higher
Wisconsin.
compound rating than it because Wisconsin has moved above them. So that stat no longer applies.
Yeah, but aside from that, like Villanova, just typically they beat the shit out of teams worse than them. They've been worse lately, just because I mean, one, the Hodge injury, two, like I mean, they're not the most talented group, right? Of like the teams that are going to be like 7 seeds, I think they're probably the least talented, just pure talent
I
wise.
think they'll play a good game against UConn.
I don't honestly. I think they get killed. I think if I was a Big East,
I don't think UConn is going to beat them by a lot, like the whole game. I think there will be moments in that game where you are not questioning whether UConn is going to win, but like questioning whether it was going or whether it's going to be like really close down the stretch.
yeah, and just in
Like
terms
Villanova
of,
will make runs to cut it to like 4 or 3 or 2, and you'll think, oh, maybe we have a game here, and then UConn pulls it back to 7 and controls it by like 7 to 10 most of the way.
they're going to need good Bryce Lindsey if they're able to do that. He's been bad lately. I think
obviously.
Yeah.
They need if they're going to do anything, they need good Bryce Lindsey.
Yeah, just in terms of if I was a Big East team that wanted to steal a bid and I'm playing on the Wednesday, I would want to be in the 6-11 game just because I want to match up with Villanova, who I think is very vulnerable at this point. But I think Villanova drew the 2 best matchups they could have, really. Georgetown did not generate good offense against them whatsoever in either game. It was a lot of deep contested twos. And the only reason the game in DC was close was because Malik Mack went Super Saiyan. I don't expect that. Maybe Kayvon Mulready keeps hitting shots. And then on the DePaul side, DePaul, their team identity and like what they do well is 2-point defense. But it doesn't work when, one, they don't have a guy that can really dominate, like stop a Caden from getting in the lane and just knifing through. And 2, because Villanova is so spaced out, it 1 opens up the lane, but 2, DePaul's a bad 3-point defense. So
yeah, I mean, I watched DePaul at Villanova. DePaul should have won that game. They were up 10, and then Villanova just started making like a couple shots.
Yeah,
and they won.
Yeah, like I think Villanova drew the best matchups they could have. Now, obviously, I think either team can beat Villanova. I do think Villanova is very vulnerable, but in terms of this, I think they drew the perfect matchup. Like I think a team like Providence just has enough size and skill level at this point to where they could get hot, momentum, could win that game. Marquette, I truly think right now is playing better
the question
than Villanova.
About Providence, though, do they care?
That is the thing. Well, I think the Providence Butler game is just who quits first. Like truly.
Oh, absolutely. And then the Xavier Marquette game is just the exact opposite of that.
It's if Xavier gets Trey Carroll back, I think they can compete actually, just because
Marquette
is ahead and Carroll is. I mean, Marquette doesn't have a matchup for him, but yeah, if he's not playing, it's a
Marquette is going to. I think if you want to be really frisky, Marquette is the bid stealer. Like,
yeah. Or Providence. I think Providence, if they really like try, I think they could, just because they have so much.
I just don't think Creighton and Seton Hall are any good.
I don't think Creighton's any good. I think Creighton's quit. I think Seton Hall
Like, Seton Hall's not good, but like they can win. I think they could beat St. John's. Maybe I don't think they can.
If they muck it up, if they really muck it up, and I do think they could beat UConn
Well,
again. It would just be mucking up.
St. John's should have beaten Seton Hall. Sorry, Seton Hall should have beaten St. John's early in the year. Blew that game. Should have beaten UConn. Couldn't make an outside shot.
Mm-hmm. Like, if Seton Hall is going to win these games, it's going to have to be in the 50s. It's going to have to be Bud Clark hitting some ridiculous shots late. And then you hope either Mike Williams or AJSM are just hitting like 3 threes that day. And that's how you get your 50.
All right. You ready to talk mid-major tournaments?
Let's do it.
We're getting a bid steal in the MAC.
I do agree.
It's
not a betting podcast, but there's no value on the other teams. Everyone knows. Like, everyone knows this is happening. It's not like a hot take.
Yeah, UMass winning the MAC tournament.
Oh, okay. You're on Frank Martin train? What did Frank Martin do for you?
Absolutely not.
You remember when he roasted me on Twitter?
No.
I tweeted something like Devin. It was the year Devin Carter was going insane, and I said, just a reminder: this guy committed to lame duck Frank.
Oh,
Martin.
by the way, Stanford is not going to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, no, they're dead. They're dead. I tweeted something like this reminder: this kid committed to lame duck Frank Martin, and then he quoted it and was like, "Yeah, this guy's awesome. He rules." I'm like, oh, first of all, why is Frank Martin searching his name on Twitter? But it's Frank Martin, so I shouldn't be too surprised. But yeah. Imagine UMass winning it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I don't think I've watched UMass like once.
I don't really have like analysis on this. I just think Akron's the best basketball team in this league.
Yeah.
And they have more to play for.
Yeah. I think if we want to I think Ohio, just because they have the big two of Pavletsky and Simmons, they have so much talent.
But those guys they only care like half the time.
Exactly. And it's just like, will they care? Because when they cared against Miami, Ohio, they could have won that. Maybe they're just feeling it. Or maybe they're like, that was our chance. That was our season. We're done now.
Kent beat them by 15 earlier in the year. I think Kent's real good.
Yeah.
Like that is the least talked about 23-win team in the country.
Yeah. Darko Gillespie was, I don't know if he still is now, but he was leading the country in rebounding for a while.
Like, is there a less talked about 23-win team in the sport?
That's a good question. Let me control F23 and see if we can find someone on KenPom. We're talking about Northern Iowa now, right?
Yeah, but they're only at 23, but like 23 regular season wins.
Cal Baptist?
That's fair. That Cal Baptist is the other one. Cal Baptist and Kent State, the two least talked about 23-win teams in the sport this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cal Baptist is going to be talked about even less just because the story is going to be Utah Valley.
Yeah, I feel like even like we talked about Tulsa early in the year. We talked a lot about Liberty throughout the year. We talked Navy. We've talked McNeese, Wilmington, St. Thomas. So like how many 23-win regular season teams did we not talk a ton about? Kent State's one of them because they're the third best team in their league.
Yeah. Yeah. And the story was just it's either crowning Akron as like, man, Akron was always the best.
Like early in the year, we thought like, oh, it's Toledo, Bowling Green are right there. No. Kent State has always been right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever happened to this Toledo group? Actually, I remember
actually, I don't think we thought Toledo was going to be good early in the year. Sorry, it was Bowling Green that we thought early in the year was really good, and they were like they ended up going 18-13, 9-9.
I thought Toledo was going to be fine in the preseason just because I liked Sonny Wilson and
with Miami and Akron, like those two are just above everyone at this point. But even Miami can lose to anyone on any given night. So who knows? Actually, they can't lose to anyone on any given night because they haven't.
They haven't, but they'll play close.
Miami, no team in the country almost loses better than Miami.
Oh, they're so good at almost losing, dude.
Miami is my favorite.
Overtime, right?
Team in the country because every time they play, you're getting a banger.
Yeah, they're 4-0 in overtime this year, right? Like that's crazy.
Yes.
Who's in the 4-5 game in the? Let me actually pull that up. Who's in the 4-5?
Toledo BG.
Okay. Both those teams could beat Miami. I don't think UMass will. Toledo and BG, I think both could.
UMass almost beat Miami twice.
Yeah. I mean, they're also a punt. Frank Martin tried to dunk on me on Twitter, so I'm out on him. He's fake news.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this tournament. But
Yeah,
Miami
Buffalo's been weird this year because Freitag has been like in and out of the lineup, but I don't think they match up with Akron at all.
We've got the A10. Let's talk A10.
Okay.
We're gonna get. Are we gonna get a bid steal? I think what happens is we get the New Mexico bid steal of 2 years ago, which is like they get in because they win the conference tournament, and like if they didn't get the auto bid, but they like if the conference tournament champion technically wasn't awarded an auto bid after winning that conference tournament, they would still probably be the last team in after that conference tournament run.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'll say about this, because I think that's what's going to happen with VCU.
So I didn't watch the SLU Mason game to end the season. Like it was just a blowout. I just didn't tune in. How did Mincy look?
Dude, I told you I didn't watch.
Okay, yeah. Well, that would be my bigger question, obviously, and one I was talking over you, so I apologize. Just because he's been playing through this broken hand or broken thumb, I don't know what it is. It's something on his shooting hand. And like he's been so much worse since he's tried to play through it, and they don't have an option. Like he has to play through it. If you just look at his stats lately, his counting stats, you can see exactly when he broke his hand. He had 18 against VCU and then 15 against St. Louis. So hopefully he's playing better. And if so, they are like a live team to steal a bid. Like they could. Both them and Dayton have beaten SLU recently. Like they can do it again. I wouldn't be stunned, but I tend to think SLU just kind of finds it and wins it, but I don't know.
I think VCU wins. We get the 2-bid league.
See, I feel like if VCU gets to SLU and loses, I still feel like they make it.
I think no other bid steals. Yes.
Yeah. Which we're getting Akron, so yeah, it makes it really interesting. Yeah. I will say this is a broader take, and we can just move off this quickly. I hate the Sunday conference tournament games, just because I know the committee ignores them.
All right, just kind of run through some quick ones. I'm assuming you think South Florida is winning the American.
Yeah, I think Tulsa could give them a shot, but yeah.
Big West, who you got?
This is such an interesting league with such weird styles, right?
I think the Big West this year is like really open.
Very, yeah. All the teams are awesome defensively and terrible offensively. All the good teams, at least.
Yeah, and then you've got the really fast-paced teams: Cal Poly, CSUN, and Fullerton.
Mm-hmm. This is a league I definitely need to do more research on. It's definitely the one I think I'm the least prepared on. I know Hawaii plays that no switching defense, but they've been really bad lately. As of now, I just trust Russ Turner. I think he's the best coach in this league. I took Irvine. I
think really I don't have a pick here. Like I went with Sun and the Jerome because like I think Andy Newman's a good coach. Josiah Davis has been awesome, and I didn't really want to go with a top 2 seed. But I think Irvine is the most likely winner.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if UCSD or UCSB just got hot and won it. UCSB was really bad without Miro Little. I think he's back now, which changes everything for them.
CUSA, I have Sam Houston State.
I'm gonna say chalk, even though they've been terrible the last month, and pick Liberty.
Yeah, I'm going Sam Houston State.
Liberty struggled.
Wait, Sam Houston State's hurt.
Huh? Who got hurt?
Po' Boy King.
Yes, he did. He got hurt in warmups. I remember that now. Yeah.
Is he going to come back?
I don't remember what his injury was. I remember he got hurt in warmups before a game, though. But the one thing with Liberty, and I've watched like multiple Liberty
games. Justin Begg obviously has been out for a while, so
Liberty struggles with teams that are more athletic than them. Like if you are a lot more athletic than Liberty, they really struggle with you. That's why Sam Houston and Western Kentucky give them big problems, but they avoid both.
I mean, until I hear anything else about King, I'm going with Sam Houston.
Yeah. So he hurt his back. He was doubtful Saturday. Po' Boy King tweets his back during warmups again. He should be able to enter this game if needed. Was a tweet from Colton Foster, who is I imagine covers the team SHSU.
All right. Ivy, I think Yale's going to win.
Same. I think they're the best team.
If Penn wins on Saturday, I'm driving up to Ithaca with my brother.
That'd be a fun game. Okay. I like it.
MEAC is Howard.
Why does the Ivy not play at the Palestra every year?
When they started the tournament, they decided that they were going to rotate it around all the
time. But
it's just what they decided to do.
Yeah, but the Palestra's just playing it at the Palestra is better.
Yeah, you can't give one team home court every year, though.
I mean, the Big East does it with MSG.
Yeah, but everyone converges on it.
Everyone can converge to Penn. It's
agree.
not like Penn is like the one team that's in Washington State.
I mean, it is the southernmost team.
Barely.
Yeah, I agree. SWAC, I went Southern. MEAC, I went Howard.
MEAC, I went Howard. SWAC, I would have to double check. I believe I just went with.
I went Cal Baptist, and then Mountain West is the last tournament that we're going to talk about. Obviously, the bubble here is the storyline with New Mexico, with San Diego State. What do you think?
This is a really weird one. Really weird one.
I like Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think
that team is really tough to knock out.
Yeah, it's just I think that I would have to double check on Grand Canyon, but haven't they been like a substantially better team at home than on the road? Or am I making that up?
It makes sense, but again, this is not on the road.
I mean, sure, and they did beat San Diego State on the road, so not really. I don't know. Fool me once, shame on you.
You fans always did a really good job traveling to Vegas for the WAC.
Yeah, GCU fans travel.
So that's what I'll say.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
You're not doing UNLV.
Fool me 3 times, shame on you. I think I'm going to go with San Diego State again.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I just trust the defense. I don't know. I mean, they've been so inconsistent lately. Like, they can't score on anybody.
Any thoughts on the games tonight?
I mean, not really. Let me look at the slate. Are we just talking like just games in general or like
the championships and semifinals?
Okay.
Like if you have something, it's fine. If you don't, just whatever.
I mean, I can run through it. I think Hofstra.
No, don't run through it. Just if you have something.
I was impressed by Wright State yesterday. They played really well in the second half. I really like Michael Cooper. I think he's a baller.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's so good.
I think Monmouth Hofstra is the correct CAA final.
I would tend to agree. I mean, that shot Hofstra was crazy.
I think since Kavion McLean came back, these have been the 2 best teams in the CAA.
I would agree. I think Hofstra is better as well. So
I do think Hofstra is better.
Yeah.
But man, Hofstra needed everything from Preston Ed Mead yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, everything and then some. I mean, that shot he hit misses 999 times out of 1,000.
It was unbelievable. That was one of the most incredible shots I've seen all season.
It's definitely the most incredible shot of March Madness or the conference tournaments as a whole in my mind.
There was a half-court shot from Lehigh Holy Cross.
There was. I forgot about that. Yeah.
All right.
I love March. How do I?
I have to get on the road to get to the MAC tournament soon. So
you got in the championship game. Are you able to make a pick, or are you going to be unbiased?
I'm picking Merrimack.
I would too as well.
I think Merrimack is going to win. That's what people ask me this. Like I said, I think Merrimack's going to win. I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I wouldn't I don't think you would be stunned at all if Siena won it, right? Like they just have such offensive firepower that they can get you.
It's just that my thing about this game is Siena's 2 best offensive players are dribble drive guards, and it's hard to beat dribble drive guards against Merrimack zone.
Yeah. So one thing I actually want to ask you about the MAC, and then we can log off, and I don't want to keep it too long, so I apologize.
It's not until 9.
Okay. What do you think about the decision for the refs to not call a shot clock violation, just let them play?
I thought they should have called a shot clock violation.
Interesting. So I guess my question was, and I tweeted this.
But what I will say, the officials are right. It's a judgment call. And you don't have to call it. Like there's no he's right that it's a judgment call. I'll give them that. Marist had four opportunities on their previous offensive possession. DeRosa, 4 to score. They got three baseline out of bounds after their initial shot. That's why they lost the game, because they didn't score on the possession. Not because they didn't get the shot clock violation.
I tweeted this, but this would be something I would ask. Like,
Darby Kabamba missed a wide open layup.
The question for me would be, if I'm a coach, right? Like, if I am John Dunn as the coach at Marist, right?
Yes.
If I was John Dunn and I'm looking at that, it's like, okay, I'm either calling the shot clock violation with, I think it would have been 6 seconds left, and I get a chance to just run up the floor and have Jaden Colin Roberts chuck it, or B, but the defense gets set versus Merrimack sets that weird zone and like they're able to do a ton of things. Like, they're a really good pressure team, or you get them in a scramble as well. I tend to think if I am John Dunn, I tend to think I would rather have them had them not call the shot clock violation and just let them run. And the fact that the outlet pass from the big to Collins Roberts was bad. Collins Roberts had to go back, grab it, then go, I think is the thing that really screwed him. If it was a good outlet pass and you get it ahead of him, I think you get they didn't get a shot up, but I think you actually get a shot up and one that you can make. I tend to think if I'm a coach, I would have rather them not call the shot clock violation. I don't think I've seen many people say that, obviously, given the result, but I tend to think that's where I land.
All right, DeRosa, you want to take us home?
Sam, I don't know your outro. I do the show so much. I still don't know. Where is Tyler Self working, actually? Let's figure this out.
Vern Financial Group.
There we go. If you wanted to learn about Vern Financial Group, you came to the right place.
About Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear Michael DeRosa not know the intro, you came to the right place.
Outro. I know the intro. It's Cole.
If you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. Season 6, episode 93 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers. This will be spliced together with the Grant Leonard interview and Jonathan's monologue from earlier. Thank you so much for tuning in.